and I'm going to take you to a movie that was originally titled The Vidiot.
Dueling decades. All right, so Mancrush, you pick up the first point, but more importantly, you take control of the board. What category are we going with next?
All right, so last week we kicked things off with movies, and I'm going to do something we don't normally do. I'm going to pick it in round 2.
Ooh, already.
Joe, do I have to wait for any hand signals, or am I good? All right, we're kicking it off. Let's go to July 24th of 1999. I got lucky. I got a sneak preview here for this week. This was good for a couple reasons. One, the movies that were released on this week were weak. W-E-A-K week. You had a terrible, unscary horror remake. You had a live action version of a kid's show that was completely butchered. And I grew up on that show. Watching that shit just gave me chills. And a bunch of movies that I never even heard of or I completely forgotten about. So I couldn't pick any of those. The other thing that was good about this is I got to discover a movie that I had heard about, but I'd never seen before. So unfortunately, I had to rent this one off of Amazon. It was not in my collection of a couple thousand movies I have. I was shocked that I never picked this one up along the way. But at the box office, this movie did pretty well. It's a thriller, romantic caper type movie. It took in about $124 million at the box office, just about $200 million in 2021. It's a remake of a 1968 film, which is a Steve McQueen classic. And in a rare occurrence for myself, I would actually give the remake a nod over the original here. I mean, this movie, it stars Pierce Brosnan, and there's just something about Pierce Brosnan. Perhaps it's because I can only picture him as James Bond these days, but he absolutely locks down the whole like billionaire playboy that does like illegal shit to cure his boredom. I mean, think about like Bruce Wayne, but instead of being a crime fighter, he actually commits crime in this movie. That's how he cures his boredom. Another huge plus for this movie, for those of us that are fans of Mr. Skin, we've had him on the show a couple times in the past. This is actually the first nude scene by 90s staple MILF Renee Russo, which I was a little shocked. I didn't think there was going to be any nudity in this movie. And she's nude like through the whole second half of it. It's pretty nuts. I feel like Mr. Skin right here saying this, but she waited till she was 44 or 45 at the time to do this. And wow. Very nice. And for every
Brosnan.
Well, I was just going to say for everyone else, I believe you get a Brosnan ass shot. So you got that there too. So if you're in the mood for Brosnan, being Brosnan, high stakes artwork, forgeries, cat and mouse capers, a touch of romance, double crosses, sloppy, sweaty sex, I should say. Dennis Leary playing a beleaguered detective, which is always great. Illegal wiretaps and lots of twists and turns. Then go out, get yourself a copy of the Thomas Crown Affair. Well, the sneak peek, July 24th, 1999.
All right, Joe Findlay, what did you bring for the movies round?
Well, I brought something interesting. I'm going to go again to July 21st, 1989, and I'm going to take you to a movie that was originally titled The Vidiot until they decided against that title. This was created by a man who is near and dear to most everybody from when they were growing up. I give you Weird Al Yankovic and UHF. The movie was written by Jay Levy and Weird Al Yankovic, and it was directed by Jay Levy, who directed literally everything Weird Al ever did. His show, all music videos, all specials, everything like that. He's his guy for, tapping into the voice that is Weird Al Yankovic. It starred Weird Al, of course, Victoria Jackson, Michael Richards, Fran Drescher, Billy Barty, Geddy Watanabe, and Emo Phillips, and featured such classic moments, because essentially the whole thing is in almost sketch form as they're creating their own TV station, as Spatula City, Conan the Librarian, Wheel of Fish, Uncle Nutsy's Clubhouse, Gandhi 2, and parodied things like Raiders of the Lost Ark and Geraldo and Rambo. Roles were actually offered to Crispin Glover, Jerry Seinfeld, and Ellen DeGeneres, and not even Weird Al himself knows what happened as to why they didn't get those roles. Weird Al's mentor, Dr. Demento, makes a cameo in the film. Made a modest profit. It was about $6.2 million. It only cost like $3 million to make. It was about $13.2 million today. But it just It's another cult thing solidified in everybody's brains for the genius that is Weird Al, UHF.
You don't need no stinking bachelors.
Great movie.
Damn,
just on constant replay in my house growing up. Great pick. All right, guys. So saddle up, buckaroos, because an outlaw eyes a stagecoach and a beautiful woman, but he's foiled by a handsome stranger in white in The Villain, released July 20th, 1979, starring Kirk Douglas as Cactus Jack, and no, not the one from wrestling, and the always ravishing Anne Margaret as Charming Jones, and this movie was directed by a man best known for working with his friend Burt Reynolds, director Hal Needham. Matter of fact, Hal actually paid tribute to his buddy Burt in this film by painting his face on the side of the whorehouse, which surprisingly fits perfect in this movie because it has a genuine slapstick brand of comedy. Matter of fact, this movie was intentionally tried to be a live-action version of a Looney Tunes movie, including the same type of music and sound effects that you'd find in the Bugs Bunny cartoons. So instead, The Villain kind of comes off as more like a bad ripoff of like Blazing Saddles and Cat Ballou. However, this Western does give us the first attempt at comedy from the great dramatic screen actor Kirk Douglas. The 61-year-old Douglas actually performed many of his own stunts and pratfalls. The Villain also marks the first and only Western for Arnold Schwarzenegger, who plays the handsome stranger. He wears a powder blue outfit, identical to the one the Lone Ranger wears, just he doesn't have the mask on. The film also features Paul Lynde, who makes his final film appearance, playing a Native American chief. So, you know what? Let's all ride with a horse named Whiskey and an all-star cast as the villain plots to outsmart the handsome stranger with slapstick determination, a raucous Western spoof that proves you can't judge a cowboy by the color of his hat. So giddy up to the theaters. It's The Villain, July 20th, 1979. Yeah, I didn't think anyone would ever have seen that one.
Shockingly, I have not.
I had never seen The Villain either. It is available on YouTube if you search for it. So,
but go see the ECW clip first.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Then that Tyson fight.
All right,
you have time for both.
Let's throw it over to Christian and Alex for the judgment on the movies round.
All righty. Well, you can't go wrong with Pierce Brosnan, and it's you don't get to see him be the bad guy often, so that sounds like a great movie. So I'd go with that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What about you, Christian?
Honestly, crazy. I've never seen any of those movies, so I was never much of a movie guy. It's always been music for me. I've locked myself up in my bedroom and play guitar when, my friends were going to the movies and stuff. So I really don't have a dog in this fight. So,